Hi, everybody. It's Alex Lane from the law firm of Lane, Hupp, and Crowley, where we do criminal defense work. We get a couple questions from people that come in just in general, and I'm going to address one of those today. It's, does Arizona have tough drug laws? And I kind of answer that with, first, just generally, does Arizona have a tough criminal code? And the answer is yes. What I'm going to show you is the criminal code sentencing provisions that's published, which basically lays it all out. It's sort of like a cheat sheet for lawyers to use that's put on by the court. For general crimes, not necessarily related to drugs, I'll talk about that in a second, there are basically just a few categories. If you have no prior felonies, right, and it's a general felony, it's say auto theft or forgery, whatever. If it's the first time you've been charged with a felony, you'll be in this group, which means you could get prison, but the grayed out area shows that you're probation eligible. Then if you move down here, this is if you have one prior, two, or three, and it just sort of moves. And you'll notice the big distinction between these two is there's no shaded area down here, which means that if you've been convicted of a felony and you're accused of another felony, that new felony is now you're in the category of category 1, which is a repeat offender, which makes it prison mandatory. That doesn't mean that you're going to get prison. It just means that the prosecutor has the leverage. You know, maybe they say, hey, I'm going to offer you probation, but if you don't take it and I take you to trial, then you're going to be looking at prison, and it's prison mandatory. And what that means essentially is that the judge can't do anything about it. If you stand convicted and you have a prior, then it's a mandatory prison term, even if the judge doesn't want to sentence you to that. And I think that's important for people to know. I have found, and I've only practiced law in Arizona, but in discussions with other lawyers from out of state, comparing the different states, this is a really strict scheme. Now, for drugs, there's another one that says here, probation eligible except for drug offenses in which the amount exceeds the statutory threshold. Right, so then what is the statutory threshold for drugs? And then if you can go back to here, and it lists the threshold amounts for the drugs. So if they catch you with, say, pounds of something, I'm not going to go over what all of them are. A general crime, if it's their first offense, it's pretty rare, and I can't think of an example of it, when the prosecutor would say, I want the individual to go to prison their first time out. I'm not saying it doesn't happen. So if you're accused of a crime, been arrested, whether it's us or somebody else, I would contact a few lawyers and just talk to them and just kind of see what they have to say about it. If you decide to hire us, great. If you decide not to, that's fine too. But we will answer your questions and, give you a free consultation, talk about it.